Porygon is so unique among Gen 1 Pokemon, I just wish it was better. We're rating them all, and those stats, for what was at the time a Pokemon that couldn't evolve, are just not good. It really can't even take advantage of any stab normal moves until Gen 4. So before then, it's going to be really reliant on TMs, which to be fair, it does get some really good ones, but with 40 speed and mid stats. Otherwise, 2.5 stars for battle prowess. As for availability, it's actually only available before the post game in 2 regions, Kanto and Sinnoh, where you can get it before the 4th gym in both. Remember, we only judge Pokemon on the games they're actually available in for a playthrough, 4 stars. It's then pretty obviously based on polygons, but more specifically polygonal mesh used in graphic, with its shape being based on paper cranes. But even better is the fact that the developers included Porygon in the game specifically out of irony and to stick it to the critics, which is just great, 4 stars. And I honestly think its design is incredible. It skirts the line so well between simplicity and abstract complexity, while also being super unique and somehow also cute. The colors are also just really pleasing to the eye. I'm actually recording this right after posting the polls, so we'll see how alone I am on this one, but I think this is easily a 5-star design, giving Porygon the final score of 3.875 stars. Porygon2 is up next as we rate them all, and in battle it's definitely an upgrade from Porygon, who got 2.5 stars in battle prowess. Upon evolution, it gains 20 to every single one of its base stats, and that alone really patches up the main downsides of Porygon. Both of them get some amazing level up moves like Signal Beam, Discharge, Tri-Attack, Agility, Recover, and some absolutely amazing TMs. The difference is Porygon2 can actually make really good use of them and be a very solid member of your team, 4 stars. Porygon did have a shockingly high 4 stars in availability, but with Porygon2 being a trade evolution, that'll drop it down to 3 stars. And its concept is incredible. Going from the actual joke Game Freak played by purposely making this polygonal program Pokemon to the upgraded, more efficient Porygon2 is easily a 5-star concept. But I don't think its design is quite as appealing. It's still really awesome though, don't get me wrong. It looks exactly as it should, a smoother and better programmed Porygon. It once again draws that perfect line between simplicity and abstract complexity. Whether I like it as much or not, it's still an awesome design, 4 stars, which ends up giving Porygon2 an even 4 stars overall. Porygon-Z is easily one of the coolest normal type Pokemon. We're rating them all, and it's also kind of a monster in battle. It has a whopping 135 special attack and nice speed and even respectable stats otherwise. But its move pool is also just insane and really sets it apart. With setup moves like Nasty Plot, Agility, and even Recover, coupled with its absolutely ridiculous offensive coverage. It can solve basically any issue you put in front of it, and that's just its Gen 4 moves. And I haven't even mentioned its 2 amazing abilities. This is another one that feels like it's a bit too high because of its base stat total, but everything else I feel should bring it up to 5 stars. But where and when is Porygon-Z even usable? I know I've never actually gotten to use one outside of randomizers. Well, in Sinnoh, only in Platinum specifically, you can get a Porygon around the 3rd gym, and then the upgrade even earlier. But the Dubious Disc is locked to the very late game, and we can't forget the fact that you have to trade it twice. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but is this not the only game where you can actually get Porygon-Z before the post game? Have we seen any other Pokemon with only one singular game worth of availability? Like, does that deserve another penalty? It already gets the version exclusive, trade evolution, and late game penalties, but with our system, it still gets 2 stars in availability, even though that still feels really high. But for real, this whole alliance concept is incredible. Starting off as not only polygonal mesh and graphics, but also as a direct middle finger to the critics, which is hilarious. Then it upgrades to Porygon2 with better rendering and smoother graphic. Then once exposed to a Dubious Disc meant to empower trans-dimensional travel, but it was full of bugs and glitches, it screws it all up. This is not even close, that's easily a 5-star concept. But as for its design, I'll be totally transparent here. I was originally leaning towards 4 or 4.5 stars. It's a really cool and unique looking Pokemon for sure, but I didn't think that it was all that amazing. But you guys ask why I run the polls if they don't decide the score, and this right here is why. I admittedly had no idea that Porygon-Z was literally just a screwed up and rearranged Porygon2. It has all of the same parts, just in different places. I don't know how I never noticed that, but it is an absolutely incredible detail, and now I for sure see it as a 5-star design. So that does all generate Porygon-Z the final score of 4.25 stars overall, just barely screwed over by availability. But this one I feel is justified.